After a monster first season with the Dallas Cowboys that saw him set career highs in yards and touchdowns, George Pickens is a free agent this offseason. When asked yesterday if he had any contract discussions with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys just yet, Pickens gave an answer Cowboys fans may not necessarily love.
Jerry said because of you got Micah's money. You're going to get Micah's money. Because if Micah's not there, they can pay you.
I mean, it's a very possibility. Everything in life is a possibility. But we definitely could have used Michael Parsons. We definitely could have used his talents.
See, at the Pro Bowl, everyone's loose. Awesome. Everyone's loose at the Pro Bowl. Awesome. It's not the same as regular. Yeah, Micah's like, oh, no. Are we worried at all that Jerry Jones is maybe going to complicate this contract situation? We've seen these kinds of things play out, go longer than they're supposed to. I see your face, Stephen A. What do you think?
Of course he's going to complicate it. Of course it's going to be long and drawn out because it's what he does. It keeps him in the headlines. It keeps the Cowboys in the headlines. It keeps the attention on the brand. He sees the advantage of it from a business standpoint. And you know what? The man is personally worth $13 billion. And his franchise is worth nearly $14 billion. And he wants that to go up to 20, 25, 30 billion. I mean, he ain't stopping. Okay, and listen, I've gotten to know Jerry. I'm very, very fond of him. I got a lot of love for him. You know, we talk frequently throughout the year. Everybody knows how I feel about him, but that doesn't mean I'm shy about telling him when you know, about his mishaps and when he's wrong and all of that other stuff. And today's going to be no different. You know, the offense is prolific. George Pickens is a stud. Now, there were a couple of games where that effort came into question. You looked at him, it's like, wait, are you going all out? And that's not wise to do in a contract year. But specifically when you saw him perform at an elite level, when you saw how the Pittsburgh Steelers looked offensively without him, when you saw Dak Prescott just speak up for him, which is not something Dak Prescott is prone to do. Yep. But he did that for this brother right here. You know what him and CeeDee Lamb mean to one another when they're on the field together and how sensational they can be. You have to pay this man. And so you're Jerry Jones. The question about him complicating it, sure, because his mentality is, where you going? You know, I got until the deadline to take care of you. You understand? And I'm going to draw it out because he's not joking, fellas. I'm not saying it's right. Please don't think I'm saying it's right because I've told him to his face it's wrong. We've argued about it. It's wrong. This is a dude that remembers when he bought the Cowboys. And he remembered when he had not one, not two, but $3 billion lawsuits against him. And he remembered when, you know, his family was wondering whether he was going to harm himself because he was in such dire straits, going to the bank, you know, lying every chance he got to get more money from loans and stuff like that to keep himself afloat. And his mentality literally is like, how dare you think that you deserve more than I'm offering you? He really feels that way. He really, really does. Now, the exception was that he has no business feeling that way. I see you, J-Mac. You're absolutely right. He's got no business feeling that way. But that's how he thinks. Because his whole mentality, the reason why Dak Prescott's the exception, you know why he keeps bringing up Dak Prescott as an exception? Because when he denied Dak Prescott his money, Dak Prescott went out there and still played and didn't hold out. So ultimately, you forced me to give you the money because you never deviated from your responsibilities to this team. That's how he thinks in this floor. And I'm like, Jerry, you know, I got on him so bad when he was negotiating against Michael Parsons. Like, the man's 25 years old at the time. You were negotiating before he was born. Will you stop? How you going to treat him like he an agent? You know better than that, Jerry. Jerry's like, I don't play that bleep. You tell me one thing, you got to honor it, blah, 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 blah. He lives in a different world. He does. He really, really does. I'm not making any excuses for it. I've criticized him for it, but he won't change. And if he gets an opportunity to hold out, if Pickens asks for one more dollar than Jerry Jones thinks he deserves, Jerry gonna hold out until the last possible minute. That's just how he is. It's just how he is.
How's George Pickens going to be within this? That, to me, is the biggest determining factor because you know, Jeff, there's a franchise tag that the Cowboys could place on him, and he has no option but to play or not play. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing. George Pickens, yesterday's price is not today's price. The way he performed when you have a career year like he did this year, he can go to Jerry Jones and him and say, you know what? I want CD Lamb money. I want to be paid as one of the top wide receivers in the game. And they can look at him and say, no, we're not going to do it. We're just going to franchise tag you, and it's going to keep you here for at least another season. Now, if George Pickens decides, you know what? I'm not going out there risking my health to play on a one-year deal. I want a multi-year deal. I think to SA's point, now this thing continues to drag, and it makes every single headline. And we're on First Take talking about it every single day of when something is going to happen. When you look at that video from the Pro Bowl and you see George Pickens standing there and you see Micah Parsons standing right next to him with a big smile on his face, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm yelling at the TV, Micah, get away from George. Leave him alone. Do not influence him. As CeeDee Lamb walks into the screen and makes a face, as Dak Prescott is at the Pro Bowl games, they can sit there and tell him the horror stories of what it's like that you have to go through to get that contract from Jerry Jones. So I agree with SA 100%. Everything in the past tells us that this is going to be a long, drawn-out situation and something that we're going to love talking about every single day, and Jerry's going to love listening to it.
Yeah, this to me is probably going to be the story of the offseason, and I'll tell you why. In this situation only, I feel like Jerry actually has some reason for a little hesitation. And SA, you made mention of it, right? A couple games where you might have questioned the effort, him being, kind of shipped out of Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh kind of wiping their hands of it. Hey, you kind of take him, not necessarily calling him a problem, but just, they couldn't get it kind of worked out. That's a big risk for an organization, especially if he's talking about CeeDee Lamb money, right? And so this one really is a tricky negotiation for me. And I feel like, honestly, with Jerry Jones and what he typically does, he's going to be forced into a situation where he probably franchise tags him. And then it's how does George Pickens respond to that? Does he play hard under the tag or does he not? Because you know. Does
he show up for the offseason?
That's right. Does he show up for for meetings? Does he do all the things? Does he check all the boxes? Does Jerry make some kind of promise to him if he does? This is a very tricky one for me. And so I do think Jerry has screwed up a lot of negotiations in the past. This one, for me, though, he really does have a reason to kind of briefly hesitate on it.
Couple of things. Number one, if they franchise tag Pickens, he'd cost about $28 million.
Yeah.
His market value is at $30.6 million. So naturally, you're gonna feel underpaid. Okay. And again, if he's salty, you never know what the attitude is going to be like, what the performance is going to be like. I believe in Pickens. I think he deserves his money. But nevertheless, you got to wonder about that. Keep in mind that Jerry Jones came on my show, Stephen A. Smith show, came on my show in Dallas. And what does he bring up? I didn't ask him about this. He brought up Micah Parsons laying down on the table, on the sidelines. And he said, never have I seen a star do that. You understand? He's bringing up little nuggets. So, J-Mac, you couldn't be, if I told you were 1,000% right, that don't even do it justice. The fact that Micah Parsons was standing right there, you understand, while this question was being asked, that is a problem. Jerry Jones sitting there like, oh, you think Micah Parsons going to advise you on what to do with me? Oh, that's how he thinks. That's how he thinks. You understand? It's who he is. It's who he is. And here's the other thing. And this is where being a Dallas Cowboy comes into play. Without question, it's the most marketable franchise, and its players are the most marketable. Dak Prescott is living proof because the man has 2 playoff victories in his career and got more commercials than anybody. You understand? That's the bottom line. So he's making money off the field. Jerry Jones credits the Cowboy brand for that.
Yeah.
So Jerry Jones's attitude is there's always a discount that he should be able to get as owner of the Dallas Cowboys for paying you because there's so much supplementary income you have the potential to grab by being a member of the Cowboys. I don't buy that. Is the bottom line is, as a player, this is what you deserve, J-Mac, Sergeant Friday. I know y'all agree with that. I'm all about the players. You deserve your bag based on your performance and what the market says you deserve based on your performance on the field, period. But that ain't Jerry. Jerry thinks that being the owner of the Cowboys, being a member of the Cowboys, gives you a plush position that should enable him to curb costs here and there so you could get it off the field. That's how he thinks. So Micah Parsons being in that photo right there, in that video right there, that's a problem. We ain't hearing about it. You're hearing here on First Take First. We ain't gonna be discussing about it now. Wait until June, July roll around. We gonna bring up that very video.
Yeah.
Watch. Because I promise you, Jerry is going like this. It's very few people in the media that know this man better than me. I'm telling you, I ain't asking. He's sitting there right now. All right. Okay. All right. I'm telling you that right now.